Hello, my name is Logan Standridge, and today I'm going to be presenting to you my community-based research project for SAGE450 at St. Andrews University. My community-based research project is based out of Laurinburg, Scotland County, North Carolina, and delves into the topic of food insecurity within the community. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to explain to you what food insecurity is, how it impacts the community, what is being done about it, and what we can do to improve the issue at hand. So before going into the details of the issue, a little overview of the community. As you can see from the image below, Scotland County is located in the southern region of North Carolina, and within the county it is home to the towns Laurinburg, Laurel Hill, Gibson, Wagram, and Deercraft. Laurinburg is the largest community within Scotland County. It accounts for over 15,000 individuals out of the 35,200 plus individuals within the whole county. Delving into the demographics of Scotland County, it is predominantly Black and African American individuals, as they make up 47.4% of the population, almost half of the population, followed by 33.7% white individuals, 9.32% American Indian and Alaska Native individuals, and 2.45% Spanish individuals. Within Scotland County itself, poverty is a pretty large issue at hand. 26.1% of Scotland County's population lives below the poverty line. In 2024, the U.S. poverty line is set at $15,060 for an individual household, which means that over a quarter of Scotland County's population is making less than those $15,060 annually. This causes food insecurity to be a prevalent issue within the community, as they are not making enough money to feed themselves or have access to nutritious food. 26%, or just over a quarter of Scotland County's population, are found to be food insecure. 40% of Scotland County's children under 18 are found to be food insecure, and 90% of children within the county are on free or reduced fare school meals. As an elementary school tutor, this is something I see almost every day that I'm working. Kids are often encouraged at lunch, when they pack lunch, to get an extra lunch and share with the kids who need extra food. There's also an initiatives at the elementary schools within Laurinburg called Jesus Loves You bags, which is basically a brown paper sack bag filled with non-perishable foods that kids who need the extra food can take home, so they have something to eat for dinner and something to eat on the weekends. So what exactly is food insecurity? Food insecurity is the official term coined by the United States Department of Agriculture and refers to the lack of consistent access to food or enough food for an active and healthy lifestyle. Food insecurity can result from a various range of factors, including economic hardship or lack of affordable housing, chronic health conditions, limited access to affordable and nutritious food, and systemic inequalities. Marginalized communities, including people of color, LGBTQ individuals, and those with disability, are at higher risk for food insecurity due to systemic discrimination and poverty. Food insecurity can have significant impacts on physical health, mental well-being, performance in school and work, and overall quality of life. More than 25% of Scotland County's population, including 40% of its children, grapple with the devastating effects of hunger and poverty due to food insecurity. However, within the community, there are ongoing initiatives aimed at combating this pressing issue. Earlier, I had mentioned the Jesus Loves You bags that are an initiative at the elementary schools within the community, and I'm about to introduce you to the blessing boxes, another initiative within the community to fight hunger and poverty within the county. So as I just mentioned, there is an initiative, the Blessing Box Initiative, within Scotland County, which is basically little boxes located at the churches, which are essentially help yourself food pantries. I have found 3 within Laurinburg, one at First United Methodist Church, another at Laurinburg Presbyterian Church, and lastly one at Laurel Hill Presbyterian Church. So for this project, I drove around the community and took pictures of these boxes, and I wanted to examine what was inside them and how we could improve what we're putting inside the boxes to help the larger issue at hand, food insecurity. The blessing boxes themselves are available in parking lot areas of the churches for members of the church or even members of the community to just fill it with non-perishable goods or hygiene items at any time for people that are in need. The goal of the box is to allow individuals in need to access the food or personal hygiene products at any time, whether that's early in the morning before stores are open, in the middle of the day, or late at night. To remind members of the church about the blessing boxes, churches write reminders in their newsletters, Sunday bulletins, and on their Facebook page. I have included some examples of that on the right side of this slide. The top example is an excerpt from Lauren Presbyterian Church that is in their Sunday bulletin, just reminding churchgoers to bring donations for the blessing box. Below that is a Facebook post from Old Laurel Hill Presbyterian Church, kind of talking about how their blessing box has been used a lot and discussing how they want to put some Bibles into the blessing box so that those in need can have the Lord with them. And finally, at the bottom is an excerpt from First United Methodist Church's newsletter talking about how they want peanut butter for their blessing box. At Laurinburg Presbyterian Church specifically, the Sunday school teacher, Miss Lynn Massey, devotes a lesson each year to teach the children about the blessing box and giving. For this lesson, she brings canned goods and non-perishable goods, as well as household cleaning products for the children to put into the blessing box, and just kind of teaches them about giving to those who are in need. This lesson also might encourage the children to ask their parents if they can donate to the blessing box, and just shows them that there are people in the community that are in need and we should give to them. So, as I just mentioned, I did want to see what was inside the blessing boxes and what was up to offer for those in need as a part of this community-based research project. On this slide, as you can see, I included 3 different pictures from the 3 blessing boxes I've been talking about at these locations. And as you can see, the initial 2 blessing boxes that I checked out were pretty disappointingly sparse. They were pretty much lacking any essential items or non-perishable goods, food items for those that are in need and looking for those items. That is not to say that it was full and someone had just, or multiple people had wiped it out just because they're needing those products, which is what it is for. But they were pretty empty, as you can see. But once I got to the 3rd location, I was happy to see that it was generously stocked with a variety of different non-perishable goods. But the 2 boxes that are empty kind of just highlights the need for increased community engagement and support to ensure that no individuals or families are going without basic necessities or food. And it shows how, as a community, we just need to do better in our efforts to alleviate food insecurity and provide essential support to those who are facing economic hardship, because economic hardship is not something that is planned. It can happen to anyone, and in times like that, just food or basic hygiene necessities are something that can really help someone out. After examining these boxes within the community and pondering, I believe in order for the Blessing Box initiative to be improved, the primary goal would just be to raise awareness about the blessing boxes in order to boost donations for those that are in need. This could be achieved in various different ways. Social media posts would be a big one. I believe a lot of people are on social media today. Announcements during Sunday service or discussions in small group meetings. currently what I have found is that announcements are being made in maybe newsletters or the Sunday bulletins, but posting on social media or announcing it out loud is something that's probably going to catch attention rather than putting it in a newsletter or a bulletin that someone might not be reading. I also believe that if incentives were implemented based on donations, such as recognition in a church newsletter or special acknowledgments during Sunday service, that could further motivate community members to contribute generously, just because it's something that makes them feel good for doing something good. This being said, the inconsistency within the blessing box stocks needs to be addressed. While some boxes are fully stocked with non-perishable goods like we just saw, others are remaining empty, which basically undermines the purpose of the initiative. We want to make sure that people in need are getting what they need. I also believe that to improve these blessing boxes, the products within the boxes should be diversified and filled with ready-to-eat goods for those without the resources to prepare foods that require water or heat. In one of the boxes there was the condensed soup, which isn't a horrible option, but that is something you have to mix with water. I have also seen like bags of uncooked rice, which might not be the best option if someone doesn't have the heat or resources to cook something like that. So really just stocking it with foods that are ready to eat would be a much better option for those that are in immediate need of food. I wanted to include some examples of goods to donate, foods that are immediately ready to eat, especially for people who do not have the resources to go cook food, for someone who might be homeless and doesn't have somewhere to go cook their food and just wants something immediate there ready to eat. Although something like chips may not be the most nutritious option, if someone is in immediate hunger, that might help them out a little bit. Also options like canned vegetables, packaged fruits, canned meats, nutrition shakes, the microwavable rice that's just ready to go in the little plastic container, as well as water bottles, and then just basic hygiene needs for people like deodorant and toothpaste. In conclusion, Scotland County does face significant challenges with poverty-induced food insecurity, affecting over 25% of its population and 40% of its children. These are just the reported statistics, so the numbers could be higher than this, and the reality is that there is people within the county going hungry and not knowing if they're going to have a meal on the table some nights. The Blessing Box Initiative does offer a practical solution, providing the Help Yourself food pantries with the message, take what you need and leave what you can, at churches throughout the county. If the boxes can remain stocked throughout collective action and compassion, the initiative does represent a step towards addressing food insecurity in Laurinburg, providing immediate access to essential items for those in need. I do hope that the community can come together through collective efforts to support this initiative to lead to a brighter future where no one in Scotland County has to worry about when their next meal will be or where it will come from, and that they will know if they are in need, they can just come to the box and get something to satisfy them in the moment.